I've liked doing this bit without the zip lines, but what I might do is set up a zip line down here to get up there quickly, because I think that's my ticket out of here. Better check that. That's the one I think I'm looking at, and that will relay me, I think, down to this one. So if I set a zip line down near the... And these PCCs are almost ruined anyway. Not likely. And that should do me just fine. Over here, I probably should have popped it down a bit closer. But near the bridge seems correct. Oh dear. At the very least, Mercedes-Benz here might have placed his bridge in a really convenient place for that as well. So it looks like it goes right around to the Geologist. Okay. I'm running slightly out of time here now. I'm at the Geologist, I gotta get down to him though. Now this will work. My pleasure. Alright. Lost cargo and a bunch of real cargo. Let's just skip that. Yep. I'm skipping. I got places to be. Yeah. Much I expected. Nearly at 5 stars with him. These lost cargo might actually get me the rest of the way. Boom. Mars red. Patch 23, Bridges B. Nice. You now have the owner's permission to rest in this shelter. I'd take you up on that almost. You think Heartman could, you know, let me use his couch at the very least. Delivery volume now. And bridge link.
Tell me, do you have any use for this?
I think this is a star.
It's yours.
In a big box. One star sticker. I don't have as many as I thought I might have by now. I reckon you can get 50 stars. I bet anything. The amount of stars you can maximally get is 50.
Good work. New order available.
Hartman's lab. No. From a BT area. See, I'd still do this. But I need 10 of them. Don't think I can make 10, not even here, not now. I can make the rest at Hartman's lab, and it'd be the bridge link I'd need, but I don't want to. Beach-related art. Premium delivery done. Yep, that's all there is. Yeah, level 3 is what it wants. All-terrain skeleton level 3. I can make 6 total here. And it would use all the resins and pretty much all the ceramics, and I kind of don't want to utilize all those resources. It's an interesting idea. Don't think I can fulfill it. Oh, no. Yes, I want to accept those orders. I don't need anything else. Thank you. Load that onto the carrier. My climbing anchor has been ruined. I'll deal with that at Heartman's lab.
Order assigned.
Let's just get there. We should be able to pretty much just buzz our way back there. As much as I've enjoyed actually doing these deliveries properly by bouncing across the mountains, it's a lovely region for it. I do like a jaunt in the snow. Obviously not in real life. I'm used to far warmer climates than this. But in video games, I like the idea of snow. I'm sure I like the idea of snow far more than I'd like the reality. It does snow. Actually, it does snow even where I live. But only very lightly. This kind of snow would probably become very quickly too much for me. You can literally just skip the mountain with this setup. One on top, one below, and you can just completely never have to worry about it. Sibukano. Apparently, you're a different person. I swear to God, I remember a different name on this one. Either way, it's up here. Now, I still have that memory chip on the edge of the lake. I forgot to light that one, never mind. Maybe that was the one. I was just thinking, that might have been the one I actually saw earlier. See, there it is. I can't get off here, though. I have to get down to the edge of the lake and circumnavigate it. I don't know if it's frozen. It probably is. But we'll get to that. There'll be time, I'm sure, to run around the lake when I don't have time deliveries literally to worry about at this exact moment. I'm already 15 minutes into a 30-minute task, 16 minutes. I'm not going to get S tier for the live fish. Most of the fish should still be alive. It's been quite cold. They may be a little frozen. Call it cryogenically suspended. Lots of... Wow, this is a chunky set of orders. Beach-related art, rare beetles, bunch of rare fish, alcoholic beverages, rare texts, and artworks.
Delivering cargo.
Picked up so much for Heartman around here.
Complete. Displaying
Oh, he's out of it again. He's dead at the moment. 66.5 kilos. Boom. Hologram data BT. Really wish you wouldn't. Lightning blue. Didn't even think the main characters would provide a color. A for that. And this one, the live fish, probably a B or a C. I think a B. B. Still, delivery's a delivery. And that gets us up to 4 stars with Heartman. And then all the lost cargo. That's me a good chunk into the 5th star. Cargo condition. Volume should be... Alright, delivery time. Delivery time's my weakest. I haven't really been rushing these. I'd have expected more on delivery volume for that one.
Cargo addressed to Porter awaiting collection.
A cryptobiote. Plushie. That's actually kind of adorable. I want one of those.
Thank you for your continued support. Good work. New order available. Please access delivery terminal for further information.
Let's see what you got, Heartman. Standard orders. Isn't that what you wanted me to do? What am I supposed to be doing? Expand the chiral network across the head back to Heartman's lab. Well, I'm back to Heartman's lab. Tell you what. Let's find a nice... Oh, you want me to go back into there. Got it. Let's go get... Before we do anything else, Heartman can wait. He's unconscious at the moment. He'll be back up in a few minutes. But he can wait. Excuse me. I'm gonna go see if I can grab that memory chip first. So this water's only waist deep, but I was already halfway around it before I figured that one out. Alright.
There we go.
Memory chip. I'm not going back across that. We're taking a shortcut. I've got an almost ruined PCC here anyway. Let's use it before it dies. Another structure nearby. Obstacle detected. How far away is this one? You know what? Let's go up a little higher. Because that'd be better. Still can't reach this one. Don't think that's ever gonna happen. Anyway. Might as well spend this PCC while I got it. Maybe I wouldn't have to cross that goddamn lake again.
Hurry up.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Construction complete.
Come on. Sam, point at it. Only one way you can go. Literally for that purpose, I won't be going back there again. That was a waste of time. Oh, strength with boo has gone up to 4.5 stars. We're almost at 5 stars. Yeah, but that was a waste of bandwidth. Sounds like a whole bunch of problem for future me. Not for now me to be worried about.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. Weapons detected. All weapons will be locked until departure. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
Okie dokie. Share memory chip data here. Wonder who it's for. How about Deadman? I think this will be for Deadman. No. Close. Die-Hardman.
I just about given up on this. I owe you one.
Dr. Strangelove. Fantastic film.
Thank you for your contribution.
Memory chips. Oh, I haven't read this one. Mama, or Lochner, both of them, wanted the information on the Yamaha RD500LC, developed as a production replica of the YZR500, which Kenny Roberts rode into the history books in the Road Racing World Championship. This was the first mass-produced motorcycle to employ a liquid-cooled V4 two-stroke engine. Sadly, while it became the iconic premium Yamaha two-stroke, it only survived for a single generation. However, there are certain enthusiasts trawling the data brought back online via the chiral network in hopes of one day reviving this legendary machine. That's not a bad-looking bike. Still think my favorite of these bikes is the Triumph Street Triple RS. Actually, or the Bonneville Bubba. The Triumph bikes are spectacular looking. I'm not so big. I'm not so big on the reverse trike design. This one I don't like much at all. And if I'm honest, I'm not too big on the design of that one. It looks a little boxy and retro. This looks vintage. And this looks very modern, but in a weirdly classic kind of way. I like how that looks. And finally, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. The full title of this 1964 Stanley Kubrick black comedy is Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. It was released at the height of the Cold War. 64, height of the Cold War? Depends on your interpretation. With the Cuban Missile Crisis of 62 still a recent memory, I'd say you've got definitely the 60 to 65 era could be referred to as a height of definitely a peak, and then you've got the I would say the first term of the Reagan presidency would be the second peak of the Cold War. It's a bit mellow in the 70s, but you know, Vietnam wasn't the height of tensions between the US and the Soviet Union, but I don't know if I'd call 1964 the height of the Cold War. I don't think I could use the term the height of the Cold War for any particular year, but it's up there. Kubrick's next film was 1968's 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I don't like very much. I thought 2001 was... There's something I like. I like slow. I like a slow pace. I'm enjoying this game. This game is exceptionally slow paced. But 2001 isn't slow paced, it's glacial. Which at the time was greeted with mixed reviews and failed to make much of a splash at the box office. It looks very good, but I as a movie, I wouldn't sit down and grab some popcorn and watch 2001. It has long since redeemed itself, and now enjoys a reputation as an all-time classic. Which it deserves. I just don't think it's a very enjoyable movie. There are some films... Dr. Strangelove is a fantastic and genuinely enjoyable film. With a really biting satire to go along with it. Especially of things like Operation Paperclip. 2001, I sort of appreciate more than I enjoy. It's something you appreciate because it has had such an impact on a genre or on the industry, visually, cinematically, even through its story. But it's not one that you actually... It's not one that I think anyone has ever... Well, certainly not in these days, genuinely enjoys. Really. It's a movie you talk about, isn't it? It's a movie you discuss, you know, with your pretentious wanker film school friends. It's not one that you would actually watch. I will skip the interviews, but I've got mail to read. We've got 11 interviews, so supplementary eventually. We've got quite a bit of mail to read. So let's start with your partner, Jay. One day we'll soar through the skies like eagles once did. There's no such thing as an impossible job for you, is there? Speaking of impossibilities, guess flight's off the table because of chiral clouds you got floating around everywhere. Well, shit. Last chip you brought in had the design for the Trauma Team AV. No point in making what you can't use. Why specifically the Trauma Team AV? I could do with a Kang Tao AV or something more heavily armoured than what Trauma Team had to offer. Still are the first ones you see, so I guess they're iconic. Not anytime soon, at least. Once these clouds clear, then everyone in their madre will be able to fly all over. I mean, shit, anything's possible, as long as people like you keep fighting the good fight. And that's why I made a little hologram for you. Hopefully it'll do the trick whenever you need a little inspiration. Also prepped another software upgrade for your compass. This one's supposed to boost its energy efficiency. Should cost you a little less juice to disable sensor pulse on enemy trucks. Your world's a strange place, hermano. Mine's a strange situation, but I think I'm starting to wrap my head around it. I'll get my memories and my life back soon enough, with your help, of course. Alright, Jackie. The spiritualist has brought to our attention a snapshot of ages past. Sam, do you recall the handprint you brought to me? Well, I hope you're sitting down, because when I analysed it, I discovered that it was 65 million years old. It dates back to the late Cretaceous period, when the dinosaurs became extinct. I did fear that perhaps it was just a rock, and the handprint itself had been added much later, but it seems that's not the case. But that seems not to be the case. Could someone have travelled through time by the beach in order to leave it? If not... Okay, hold on. Yeah. Handprint. So the handprint of the BTs predates humans. Unless she's right and it's time travel. How could it possibly have been made? I plan to look into the matter further, and we'll get in touch when I learn more. If you happen to stumble across anything that might shed light on this mystery, you'll let me know, won't you? I suppose I could bring it up with a Heartman if he'd allow me. I didn't actually immediately, like, the handprint thing, I was like, because I didn't see the rock itself. So I was like, oh, it's a 65, it's an old rock. That's impressive. But with the handprint on it, that puts it in a different light. Yeah, how the hell did a handprint show up 65 million years ago? Unless, of course, humans had some influence back then. The Craftsman. BTs that aren't affected by your blood? Okay, this is worrying. How are things, Sam? Have you hit the coast yet? You can't be far off, I'll bet. Not really. Not based on the maps I'm seeing. You'll be pleased to hear that the local porters are doing their best in your absence, and those hematic grenades you brought are making a huge difference. Speaking of all things hematic, though, we've received a report that suggests that there are some BTs out there that aren't affected by your blood. The BT in question glowed bright red, apparently, and the poor porter who ran into him barely lived to tell the tale. We brought plenty of hematic grenades with him, but they didn't seem to do the trick. As you can imagine, this is a seriously concerning development. I mean, your blood was the only weapon we had against those things. What are we supposed to do now? Sure, they're bound to have some kind of vulnerability we can exploit, but how many of us are going to have to die finding out what that might be? Anyway, consider yourself warned. Be careful out there, okay? Is that what the big ones? I thought it might be the big ones at first glance, but they glow red. Do they glow red before or after? Will I know if I can engage or not engage ahead of time? I think the only sure way will be to cut their line to the... would be to cut their umbilicals. I've already read this from Englet, and I've got to actually head back to Mountain Knot City and do that. The Geologist has got chiral nightmares. Dear Sam, thanks to you, the chiral contamination's all cleared up. Nasty symptoms though, dizziness, headaches, insomnia. At first I was worried it was all down to my isolation in this shelter and the intense focus on my research in the past year. But it got real bad when the nightmares started. I saw the end of the world, a portal to the beach opening, and BTs pouring through by the thousands. I'm worried you're not seeing a vision, but I'm worried you're not seeing a dream, but a premonition on that one. There was nowhere to run, no time, and they began scooping us up one by one. And then the void outs came, bigger and bigger, until a massive one, or several massive ones, enveloped the whole world, and poof, just like that. When I told Heartman about it, he likened it to the visions of Extinction's doom sufferers tend to experience. Strange, though. After all, we now have incontrovertible proof that Corellium is far from a recent addition to our world. Anyway, that's a problem for a different day. The important thing is that I'm cured, and it's all thanks to you. So he no longer has chiral nightmares. Well, that's brilliant for him. The Veteran Porter. Thank you saved my life. Sam Porter-Bridges, eh? I've heard an awful lot about you. I'm a porter too, see, and I like to take an interest in my fellow delivery boys and girls. Now, you probably don't know the first thing about this, but the fact is, after the Stranding hit, the government didn't come to the rescue. Matter of fact, the almighty USA did jack shit. And you know who picked up the slack? Private porters, that's who. Making deliveries that kept people alive, stepping up and doing what nobody else could or would. That's the world I grew up in. And I learned at the end of the day, it's only people you can trust. Individuals, not organizations. That's why I want no part of your UCA or Bridges neither. Sorry, but that's just how I feel. Nevertheless, I will say that I am mighty grateful to you for bringing me those meds. I'm not sick or anything, just so you know. Not even injured. Just worn out. Burnt out. Fucked on a quantum level, if you like. I don't like that term at all. What does it even mean? That's just what happens when you push yourself too far, make one delivery too many. Used to be there wasn't a single mountain I couldn't climb. I'd even trek down south to places most porters never even heard of, much less seen with their own two eyes. Not anymore. I'm not full on retired or anything, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried about how much longer I could go on. Tell you what though, I was doing a lot better after you dropped by to see me. Felt good to know that I had a buddy out there. Someone who'd keep fighting the good fight long after I'm gone. You'll do that for me, will you, Sam? Oh, and speaking of places down south, I remember that last time I was out that way, I saw something. Little glowy thing it was. No idea what the hell it was, but it didn't look like something somebody had dropped. Ever seen an object like that? That's a memory chip somewhere down south. From the veteran porter, I presume. I think I'm... I think I might have got one of those from the barn near the Timefall farm. He might be talking about that. I don't know. I picked up 2 memory chips from around the Timefall farm. So I don't know. And finally, the spiritualist has sent me another message. How are you, Sam? In good health and good spirits, I hope. I have to say, the chiral network is quite impressive. Ever since you hooked the shelter up, my life has become much more exciting. I've been able to procure all sorts of goods that I had never seen before, and I've noticed quite a number of new structures going up nearby as well. I should also mention that I managed to unearth some old research data that may offer some insight into some of the more unusual phenomena you may have experienced firsthand. I'm sure you have a vivid recollection of your many experiences in the seam, but it turns out that the person wandering around it that you may have identified as yourself may not be you at all, but someone else entirely. You see, while everyone's beach belongs to them and them alone, the seam is an altogether different beast. I've read about people who've had near-death experiences that involve the seam. They came across this someone else there. They found themselves somehow saved by them in the real world. They'd even received care packages and the like in some instances. Remarkable, you'd agree. If I knew what you were talking about, I might. You might even say that the chiral network bridged the gap between this world and that in more ways than we realized. Now, I still don't know who this someone else actually is. The fact that they're in the seam, though, would suggest that it's someone who's died, wouldn't it? Someone from the past. So, in essence, the past is intervening to keep the present alive. It's comforting to think that maybe it's not just BTs and other scary stuff that comes over from the other side. Maybe the chiral network can help us reconnect with more benevolent beings and positive forces from the past as well. If I may, Sam, I don't suppose you could keep an eye out for this mysterious someone from the past next time you visit the seam, could you? I try to avoid visiting the seam if I can at all help it, because I don't want to die much. But if I do, I'll keep my eye out from someone from the past. I don't know who they could be talking about. Unger, perhaps? I don't suppose that's got anything to do with it. Higgs? Amelie? No idea. Alright. I suppose we go speak to Heartman. Now he gives it a pat. Sam's got a strange sense of humor. Kind of devil may care when he wants to be.
Sam. In reclaiming our past, we've uncovered a number of vital clues. Don't worry, I just got back. We have time. When you met with
Why would you lie it down?
you experienced a strong antigen-antibody reaction, correct?
There was a BT in the room.
There was. But something else may have been causing it.
It's the crying he's talking about.
I've discovered large quantities of chiral matter in Mama as well. Not just the usual kind that collects on our skin or on our suits. It's in all her cells. Cells that are no longer active. The BT you encountered there was special.
Yeah, it wasn't attacking.
It was her child, but also her own soul. Somehow, her car and half failed to separate. They must have remained connected through the umbilical cord. It's the only explanation.
Is that why I didn't get a bruise where she touched me?
Yes, and there's more.
10 seconds to cardiac arrest.
What?
5, 4,
You said you'd just come back.
2, 1.
I modified the log times. Headquarters will have no record of what.
Haha.
Look, a message from Dead Man. It came with the umbilical cord.
So you're still trying to hide stuff from Die-Hardman.
Sam,
We don't trust him still.
you deserve to know what you were carrying. but I couldn't risk Die-Hardman finding out about the case. So I had no choice but to keep it off the books. You've got to keep this between us. We still don't know if the director can be trusted.
But you seem to have cause to think he doesn't. And I'd like to know precisely why. The president.
Attached to a fetus. It was outside her body. She asked me to
Amelie?
take care of it. Said it was the key to unlocking the Death Stranding.
Amelie's left her body on the beach. Also her child.
The core shows no sign of decomposition or necrotization.
Just like Mama, there's a connection between parent and child.
Frozen in time.
Or maybe mother and daughter specifically.
I thought Heartman might be able to make sense of it. So I
What
had
about
hidden
mother and son?
your cargo at Mountain Knot City.
Deadman's observations were accurate. It's just like Mama's corpse.
What do you mean?
I mean, they share a very unique property.
Mother,
Both contain
daughter.
large amounts of
One is not quite
chiral
alive,
cells.
but kind of is as well.
In other words, the president's cord was somehow connected to the beach, and that allowed it to escape the flow of time.
Is Bridget dead though? Is
I
her
put
corpse not
together
necrotizing as well?
Theory.
No, well, we burnt that.
Patchy, but worth sharing, I think. Life on Earth has been rocked by many extinctions, great and small, including the Big Five. And if you examine the Earth's strata, its history, if you will, you'll find corallium deposits that can be dated to each. What if the manifestation of beaches and other associated phenomena correspond to extinction-level events?
You mean?
Yes. Our Death Stranding could just be the latest of many.
I'd already got that.
The records and research you have...
What does this tell us in real terms?
suggest that we are in the middle of the 6th extinction.
6th extinction. Come on.
Seems obvious to me,
You
maybe.
know what this is, yes?
A mammoth.
Frozen mammoth from 10,000 years ago.
Baby mammoth.
Correct. And this?
The Iceman from 5,300 years ago.
They both have the same umbilical cords.
Bullshit.
Humor me. What if the mammoth and the Iceman weren't frozen?
You're saying time stopped for them just like it did for Mama?
Unfortunately,
She stopped in
all
time?
these specimens were lost in the Death Stranding, so there's no way to examine the genuine articles. But some fragments of data did survive. With the aid of the chiral network, we may be able to piece together something more concrete using Evo-Devo tech. All right, how's this? A dinosaur from 65 and a half...
I should know what that's called. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Umbilical cord, not decomposed.
Only mammals have umbilical cords.
No. Only mammals have umbilical cords used for childbirth. This is something else. Call it a strand from the other side. I propose that mammalian umbilici are a sort of mimesis of the strand that then evolved over time. We shouldn't assume that everything about a Death Stranding is detrimental to life.
Some of the subtitles on that one.
Trilobites, ammonites,
Everything has an umbilical.
the Iceman, all preserved as if frozen in time, all without exception, found with strands, which is to say that all may have been connected to the beach.
Bridget Strand?
When viewed in the context of the extinction entity, EE theory, leads me to surmise that organisms with strands are in fact extinction entities.
Which is what Amelie is.
See, Sam, E's are
Because she has the same thing.
beach via their strands. And it is
They cause
through
it-
this connection that they somehow bring about a Death Stranding.
So you're saying Bridget was an extinction entity?
It's far too soon to say anything for certain. And since you burned her body, we may never know.
Higgs said Amelie's an EE, that she doesn't have dooms like the rest of us.
Sam, think. Assume that President Strand was an EE. Isn't it possible that her daughter is too? At the very least, Higgs may hope as much now that the President is unavailable.
So Amelie
So we
Amelie
can't
inherited
for
that?
EE powers or whatever to cause a mass extinction.
Did Higgs say she was an extinction entity? I don't seem to remember him saying that, but
Perhaps not.
it's been a while since we
I
spoke.
doubt a single EE is powerful enough to cause a death stranding, assuming Amelie is an EE.
Well, Higgs sure thinks she's got what it takes.
Indeed. And we need to get her back as soon as possible.
So he
1 minute remaining.
wants her for more than just political reasons.
Secure.
Ah, this one is real. Sam, go west.
Young man.
How do you want me to handle Die-Hardman?
With your customary reserve. Nothing good will come of him learning of our suspicions. Whatever else is going on, we still need the chiral network.
Right.
Wow. It's a full conspiracy we're going on against Die-Hardman here. I'm not sure he's earned it, but apart from the skull mask, I kind of understand that in that context alone. But otherwise, I can't think of anything he's actually said or done. And he remembered. And Amelie's there watching over him. Maybe he'll find him this time. But anything he's actually done in his, like, as a human being has been anything other than completely trustworthy. Except for two things. He wears a skull, and he knows Unger. But I don't really know if I distrust Unger specifically. He seems like just a beaten man looking for his child, and I don't feel as though that makes him evil. Just prepared to do anything to save BB. Still, we don't know if Higgs is behind... Oh no, Sam's whistling now. I thought that was a message. What this means in a broader context, I'm not sure I could tell you, but certainly Higgs is the only one who is explicitly bad. Unger's got his reasons. Die-Hardman seems to be questionable. So I don't precisely know what to think, but Higgs must know if Amelie must be an EE. That's the only explanation. Whatever that actually means in real terms, but what Higgs is powerful enough to activate her to cause another Death Stranding
Always like the quiet.
and wipe out humanity, I suppose, is his ultimate objective, using Amelie. But one EE is not enough, unless there was something special about Bridget, and therefore about Amelie.
It's time, Sam. When you're ready, proceed to the shore of the tar belt and begin work on the chiral relay. Once it's ready, use the Cupid to bring it online. The necessary materials are prepped for you.
I bet it's a big
Supplies are
hole.
limited, so handle them with care. You'll
I always
carry
do.
a lot, too. All things considered, this might be one of your hardest runs to date. Heartman knows more about the site than I do, so he'll take it from here. It's
Okay.
about time for his wake-up call anyway.
Administering shock. Stand clear.
Boom. I think I gave him enough time that actually might make sense.
Right. About that waystation. The site we have chosen was an original candidate for the waystation we lost to the tar belt. Ironically, we suspended construction because we deemed it a little too unstable and not worth the risk. But this time, it's our best shot. So let's hope we weren't right to change horses in midstream. Fortunately for us, the foundation we laid down is still intact. All you have to do is transport the necessary materials to the site and finish the job.
How
I'm
much?
afraid it's the only way we can expand the network further west and rescue Amelie. We're counting on you, Sam.
Everyone is, both factions. Okay. Now what does this look like? 150 kilos. Is that all, really? I'll take that with a floating carrier, but barring that, this is going to wait. I know it seems incongruous, given that we're kind of rushing through events at the moment, but I'm going to head back to, I think, to Mountain Knot City. I'm going to bring these old prophetic books to Mountain Knot City. And then I got to get Englert's pizza to him, which I should be able to do pretty quickly. I don't know if I'm going to get all this road work done. I mean, there's so much in the middle here to do, and there's so much around here. This one is ridiculously expensive, not to mention the ones down here. I just don't know. And then there's back through to the waystation. And I got to repair up a bunch of road work over here. But for the time being, actually, I think this one's gone down. No, it hasn't. No. I think I'm going to head back to... Yeah, I'm gonna do that last, hopefully, that final pizza run for Englert. Then I may have a poke around with some of these roadworks, and then we'll head back to Mountain Knot City, back to Heartman's lab, back down to go complete up some of those, go complete that knot, and then I think I'm starting to feel like it's coming to it, doesn't it? But for the time being, we can still delay a little further. I've got at least one side mission I want to do ahead of time. And more V-chips, though. So we're going to head straight back for Mountain Knot City. I'll check everything out there.